Hello. In this video we're going to try and repair a deflector control assembly for a Yard Pro snowblower. Looking around for the part itself, I was quoted anywhere between $55 and $85, which didn't make sense to me for a broken cable. So here we have the old cable. As you can see, it broke on one end there. I pulled it out of its housing. And on the other end, we have what they call a Z connection, Z type of fitting. Just so we understand what we're talking about. So I went to the hardware store, picked up 7.5 feet of cable, some connectors, and loops that I think I might need to make the final assembly. Altogether, the cable and these three packages here came to under $10 Canadian. So now the idea is to slip the cable through the sheath and slowly put it together and then attach it to the snowblower. So the first thing I'm going to do is put lots of anti-seize on the cable because I don't want it freezing up in its sleeve, and measure out so that it comes out to the same length as the other. As you can see, the other one is, I would say, about 4 feet. So I will just go through the process slowly. Here we have the Yard Pro snowblower. The lever that goes here is the one that activates the chute. And as you can see, the cable's been removed, and the lever itself. So now today what we're going to do is put the lever, which is right here, back on to measure for the cable length, and hopefully have this going in a short period of time with minimal cost. Now the idea I have here is normally the Z connection on the end of the cable goes in there. Instead, I'm planning to loop it through and connect it just forward of the hole, because on this end here it's the spring that takes care of pulling the chute back up. So technically we need the cable to bring the chute down. Right now it's being held by a pair of vice grips. So I'm going to remove the cover here, install this lever, and then temporarily install the cable to see for my length. The cable should follow down along here, pretty much the same as this cable here, this one here, and go along here and up the side. It was held by this tie wrap here. I don't know how good you see it, but I'm just going to loosen it and put it back. A little side note, to get these balls off of the levers, on the other one it's already loose, the one that goes here. It's not that hard actually. You just have to take a rag, wrap it around the head, and just use round vice grips. Don't make it too tight. You don't want to break the plastic, but at the same time you want it tight enough that you're able to spin. Here you see the rag wrapped around the ball and the vice grip clamped on. So we're just going to loosen it up, nice and easy. And it's the same process when you put it back on. As you can see, here it is. No damage. A little dirty, but no damage. As we see, the new cable has been passed through. Now what I plan to do is work in some anti-seize. So this stuff does a great job of not sticking on bolts. I don't know how it'll work for water, but I have nothing to lose. So I'm going to coat the cable and work it back and forth so the anti-seize goes through. Here we see the cable. It's worked in the anti-seize, and now it's just a question of seeing if it'll do the job to avoid it freezing up. I drilled a 3/16 hole here so that we can insert this S hook. Yeah, S hook. So the plan is to install it like this, and then once this is closed, bend it 90 degrees so that the second hook is lined up like this. The reason being is, with the cable in its place, the sheath and lock of the cable will stick out too much, and you won't have enough room to have the cable go in this space. So that's the next step. So here we see it crimped up. I used vice grips, and we got enough space to travel. It's right now in its most forward position, and now I'm just gonna bolt it up. So here we see the cable placed. I put a tie wrap here just to keep the cable from rubbing on this piece here, and the cable has been passed the way it was before, right up to here, as you can see. So now it's just this end to do, and I'm going to reassemble all the front here, or the back, whichever way you want to call it, because we don't need to go back in here. So here is the bolt for the chute. I had to cut myself a new bolt because the old one busted, and here is the eye that we bought with the connecting pin, if you want to call it. I already prepared the cable here, so now it's just a matter of squeezing this tight, placing this over my bolt, and tightening it down. So my cable I adjusted too long, so all I did was pierce a new hole higher up on the chute and bolted it there. So make the cable a little shorter when you clip it. Calculate an extra inch maybe, or put the handle all the way down when you measure, not up. So as you see, everything's working fine here. And that's it. So, I'm going to be testing it later today.